In the epic story of Ramayan, Shri Ram came to Rameshwaram with his brother Lakshman and Hanuman, along with the Vanar army, in an attempt to find Sita, who was being held by the evil king Ravana across in Sri Lanka. Rameshwaram is located in the southeast part of India, off the coast of Tamil Nadu. You can see Rameshwaram extending out into the ocean toward Sri Lanka. The tip of Rameshwaram is a place called Dhanushkodi, which means the tip of a bow, which is the shape of that island there. That tip of Dhanushkodi is about 18 kilometers or about 12 miles from Sri Lanka. And when you look at an aerial satellite view, you can actually see the sandbars. And so it makes sense that there was a bridge that could have been made there. And that's what the story of Ramayana is about, that there was a bridge built between Rameshwaram and Sri Lanka, which is called Ram Setu. And so, with this information in mind, we came to Rameshwaram first, stayed the night at a hotel, and the following morning took a taxi to get to Dhanushkodi endpoint, which is where the Ram Setu was supposed to start. The drive was a beautiful one with a narrow strip of land with the waters of Bay of Bengal to the left and Indian Ocean to the right, and they all met right past the Dhanushkodi endpoint. When we got to the endpoint, fortunately there were crowds, but I'm told it could be even more crowded. Had a great time visiting the place, and when you get to the end, you can actually see the sandbars raising out of the ocean, which is likely where the Ram Setu would have been, according to this story of Ramayan.
Now looking towards Sri Lanka, and here comes the ocean and the other side is Indian Ocean. Back towards India. Once again,
So this is what it looks like when you get to the Dhanushkodi endpoint, which is likely where the Ram Setu would have started. Just a great experience being there, looking into the ocean and imagining what the Ram Setu may have looked like. On the way back from Dhanushkodi endpoint, I noticed there were a number of dhabas, think roadside restaurants, offering fresh fish catch of the day from the sea to be fried and served. And of course, I succumbed to this and had a pomfret that was fried and served to me. It was just simply delicious. On the way back from Dhanushkodi is also the Kothanda Ramar temple. We stopped here. This is where Vibhishan, the brother of Ravana, having failed to persuade Ravana to give Sita back to Shri Ram, then came to the shores of Rameshwaram and gave himself up to work with Sri Ram to be able to free Mata Sita from Ravana. The Rameshwaram temple is locally called the Ramanatha Swami temple. It is a Shiv temple with a Shiv Linga in the middle of it. The Rameshwaram temple is the most visited temple in the area. Devotees of the temple usually go through a bathing ritual, which consists of taking a bath in the ocean and then coming into the temple from the north gate and taking bath from 22 wells within the temple, after which they clean themselves and do darshan. If you wanted to skip the bathing ritual, you could do so and enter the east gate and do the darshan of the Shivlinga from there. Those devotees wanting to go through the bathing ritual start in one of these four Agni Tirthams by the ocean. They will take a dip in the ocean and then walk to the north gate where they will enter and go through a bath from water from 22 different wells, after which they will cleanse themselves and head towards the darshan. After visiting the Rameshwaram temple, we availed of an opportunity to take a ferry boat ride, which would take us on the waters of Bay of Bengal, looking back into Rameshwaram, where we could see the temple and the Agni Tirtham. The connection between Rameshwaram temple and Sri Ram is the following. Once the Ram Setu was complete, Shri Ram wanted to do his prayers to Shiva to get his blessings before taking on a war with Ravana. This is the Shiv Linga which is in the Rameshwaram temple. It is therefore considered one of the 12 Jyotirlingas within the country of India. Also, Adi Shankaracharya, during his time, pointed out that Rameshwaram is one of four dhams that the Hindus should visit in order to attain salvation. Within the town of Rameshwaram are two ponds. One is Ram Tirtham, where Sri Ram would take his baths, and the other is Lakshman Tirtham, which is where Lakshman would take his baths. To the north of Rameshwaram is the Rampadam temple. This is where there are imprints of the footsteps of Sri Ram within the temple that one can see. It is quite the climb, but there's beautiful views once you get there. This hilltop is also supposed to be the location where Hanumanji took the leap to go to Sri Lanka looking for Mata Sita within Sri Lanka. Not too far from Rameshwaram is a place called Vilundi Tirtham. As the story goes, when Sri Ram was bringing Sita back, Sita was thirsty and not finding drinking water at the location they were at. Sri Ram took his bow and arrow and shot the arrow into the ground and created a fresh water. This freshwater well is at the end of the jetty when you get to Vilundi Tirtham. Seems like a miracle, but then we are talking about Sri Ram here. As a Ram Bhakt, this visit was absolutely awesome for me, visiting all the places that I could see. If you are also a follower of Ram, I would recommend you go there. I will wrap up by showing you some pictures of the House of Kalam, which is the home of President Kalam when he was a youngster. He lived in Rameshwaram.